Stu, what are you doing?
Making chocolate pudding.
It's 4 o'clock in the morning. Why on earth are you making chocolate pudding?
Because I've lost control of my life.
I'm sure you have questions, like, why would I do this? Have I lost my mind? And I won't answer any of them, simply because this is me going completely off the rocker just to make some of the most cursed abominations anyone has ever seen. And I'm living for it. I'm gonna say it now, expect the expected for this video because the designs here are so literal, it's kinda actually funny. I should say as well, before we start, go watch Smiling Friends. It's an adult cartoon that does adult cartoon in an actually funny way, with almost no need to be super violent or saying swear words peppered into every sentence for no reason. Alright, enough shade being thrown around, let's just start with Charlie and Pim first.
I can't believe after all these years, I'm finally here.
You kissed your dad on the mouth?
What a melodic and beautiful voice that Hadel has. Iconic yet so versatile, and Charlie is a beautiful amorphous yellow blob of a character. With all these designs, kind of went off what I could see sort of from silhouettes. That's why all of them kind of turned out so gosh darn silly. For some reason to be Charlie's silhouette remind me of some kind of Gen 1 or 2 kaiju Pokemon. A sort of Nidoking, or I guess in this case Tyranitar sort of design. Maybe mixed a little bit with Duraludon here as Alfali as a Steel and Dragon type. The most alpha of typings. Literally every one of the Smiling Friends have sort of sideways flounder eyes, so little bits of a change here was giving it those iconic Gen 1 sort of eyes. The funniest thing here is that I decided to turn the clothing into a sort of steel armor for it. This is where the Duraludon design comes into play. The worst thing is I can absolutely see this in-game like walking along with big plodding feet and that smug grin constantly on its face. The name of most of these are pretty literal. Alfali is just alpha from him being an alpha male and his name. Wild naming conventions, I know, but hey, this was the content created as I slowly descend into madness. Alfali, the alpha Pokemon, a Steel and Dragon type. Alfali are a kind and laid-back Pokemon who normally shy away from baring their fangs and showing their full strength unless truly pushed to the brink of anger. A single Alfali takes over a massive territory unless other Alfali show submission to it. The strongest are considered the alphas while all others must stay away or be considered lesser. Alfali allow only one Pokemon to live with them in their territory and not expect anything from them, and that's Seraphim. Despite this, Seraphim will help clean the steel armor of Alfali as thanks for a predator-free environment and place to raise their young. Alfali has the ability Pure Power. Because I'm ridiculous, I'm gonna make a team for everyone. Charlie gets an Alfali, a Snorlax for Desmond, a Crawdon for Shrimp, a Grimmsnarl for Jeremy, his only form of hellish entertainment, and because he's the alpha, Arceus and Giratina. The man's met both God and Satan, so it makes sense.
Okay, great. Well then, there's no time to waste, Charlie. Let's go out there and make people smile!
Oh my god, I did not think he was gonna do that. That scared me. That actually scared me a little bit.
Next, our little kissy boy Pim. Here it is. Nah, but actually really not too far away from what I actually did. I love that Pim's so bubbly and kisses things all the time, it's just kinda hilarious. But what kind of creature or thing do I see when I look at this hideous nerve-ending haired creature? Well, a bird, of course. Yeah, it makes sense, right? Our dear creature Seraphim here is literally the boy in bird form, except with some extra kissy lips, and of course I wanted to keep their most predominant features. I love the eyes of Pim, there's something so fun and graphical about them. Very similar to Mimikyu actually, and so I used it for reference. Yeah, I referenced a random squiggly eye, what about it? For typing, I wanted to obviously go flying type because it's a bird, but the only real fitting typing I could think of for this little freak extra was fairy type. Fairy type is usually associated with good vibes and healing and all that, so I thought flying fairy is good. It's a typing I use a lot, I just think they're neat. Oh, and something I just found really funny is the shiny for Seraphim. It actually looks like that baby Amethyst from Steven Universe, although it was meant to be Grim from the Frowning Friends. God, you're just so cursed. Seraphim, the helpful Pokemon, a fairy and flying type. Flocks of Seraphim fly high above using their keen eyes to spot Pokemon in danger. They will then dive bomb down in droves to try and assist. They have a curious ability that allows them to heal others with a kiss. Wounds close up and the patient feels better afterwards. They can even cure sadness and anger with such powers. They live in droves in Alfali territories and will try their best to keep the resident Alfali in tip-top condition and happy so that their nests are well defended. They aren't fully helpless though and can launch assaults if required and are in dire straits. Seraphim's ability is Triage. Pim's team starts with a Seraphim, a Comfey for the happy healing vibes, a Hatteran because both the Adventure Witch and for Jennifer, a Bellybolt because that smile and it kinda looks like Pim's dad, and finally a Cacturn and Trevenant. Because Cacturn is he's dressed up as a cowboy for Halloween and Cacturn just makes me think of cowboys and Trevenant for that forest demon thing. Yeah, I know, wild.
Yes, and I got my cheese back. Nom.
Oh, come here, Allan, you crazy character.
Nom.
Let's do Allan next. Honestly, these next ones are even sillier than the previous ones, but Allan only really has so much about him in the series so far. But I very much think about the first episode with Allan and his and the Bliblies, so I thought, why not make him into a giant rat? This is really dumb, I know, and also it's kind of scary. Because I can see this joining the ranks of regular Allan and being sort of a horrid, Tumblr, sexy man thing with the ranks of Sans, Undertale, the Oncer, and Reagan. I reference Alolan Raticate a lot for this one, as I wanted that same sort of dark, crooked rat feeling that it had. Just an elongated red freak like some kind of horrid Muppet creature. Because many of these characters are wearing clothes as they should, it's hard translating that into a Pokemon. I mean, it kind of went wild with Alfali and Seraphim. It goes sort of like Sork with the outfit being part of the body's design. For Normalin, I decided that his iconic tie would just fit into the body as a nice little pattern. It still reads, but fits in well enough, even if the red and blue sometimes hurts my eyes. From what we know of Allan, I kind of love him as a character. He's just so deadpan. I hope he gets more screen time in the next season. Naming is literally just that nom end screen, and Allan. Very creative, I know. Allan, the cheese Pokemon, a dark type. Allan, despite their quite curious looks, are kind and will help clean your house if one lives in your house, or has started living within your walls. It uses their long limbs to get into small spaces and grab litter. It will also use this to place cheese, its favourite food, into tight spaces that only it can reach. Beware taking this quarry though, or prepare for an enraged Allan. Smaller Pokemon that once lived within the walls of houses were forced out thanks to Allan, and other Pokemon forming alliances. Luckily, this has been a positive for the community as the previous tenants were incredibly hostile and theft was rampant. Allan has a new ability called Neat Freak, where it increases his Pokemon's attack stat whenever terrain, weather, or entry hazards are set. Alright, let's try to make a team for him. First Allan, then a Ditto, as it's really the closest thing to a Blibbly I could think of. Then an Orthworm that Pim loves to eat. A Chinchino for his cleanliness, and for the last two I struggled, so I'm gonna go Klefki for the paperclip and a Mr. Mime for his clown outfit. There, done. Now time for the biggest challenge, little Gleb. I went for a sort of weird frog Holytoad thing here. I know it looks really strange. Gleb's kind of known for talking wildly and spitting, so his Pokemon is just like the strange frog-like abomination with big spitting energy. I did a bit of a silly thing here and gave them Polytoad sort of eyes, and it now feels like some kind of really weird, wild, like anime version of him, which I guess is fitting. Pokemon is technically anime. You get the idea. This is all connecting to the obvious Mr. Frog episode that he was front and center for, and probably my favorite episode overall. Mr. Frog just being so unhinged is a true mood.
Hello, it's good to be you. Hello.
His little wizard hat thing was unfortunately just added onto the design, as I couldn't do it without the little extra part. So imagine just like how Gardevoir has horns here. This is sort of just like a horn as well. Typing was so hard here in retrospect. Water probably would have made more sense, but I chose very normal here. Gleb feels a little bit Fey-like, but also pretty normal and just chill like that. Honestly, normal could have fit everyone here despite how unnormal all the critters are. Gleb, the spit Pokemon, a fairy and normal type. A small creature with the ability to shoot spit with great force and accuracy. Luckily for Gleb's foes, it is an incredibly lazy Pokemon and so it will spend most of its time sleeping or watching other Pokemon without a care in the world. Scientists are baffled by how such a small Pokemon can have the ability to fire its spit out with enough force to tear a truck in two. Research is difficult as Gleb are irritable if something gets too close to it. It has a unique vocal range that only certain other Pokemon can understand. It may have to do with some Pokemon having highly evolved ears. Gleb has the ability Truant. Alright, here's the challenge, a team for Gleb. Let's go with Gleb and Politoed, our Mr. Frogs. I'm giving him a Hatteran as well and a Honchkrow. They got those similar hats, and the final two, I'm really struggling here. You know, Gleb's got his own little iconic dance, so let's just give him two dancing Pokemon in Ludicolo and hit him on top. I'm trying, okay? So let's do Smallmoo as the last. No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna put in what kind of started this whole idea, Grimble.
Well, I don't do my iconic victory dance for nothing. Okay, I guess just this once I can do it for nothing. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay, I guess I can do one more for nothing. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
This one was like a 9 o'clock at night idea I had because I thought it was funny that some kind of failed creature collector game was made with the Grimble franchise to try and compete with Pokemon. Maybe there was guns in it, and some of the designs felt a little too close to Pokemon. Just like something in real life. This dude's like this strange but very amazingly well executed PS1 era mascot that gave me like Croc and Crash Bandicoot vibes. Man, Smiling Friend's so good at emulating art styles and combining them all together. Dare I say better than what Gumball even did. That's saying a lot. This iconic mascot of Gwimblemon is Gwimbly, a steel and fighting type, on account of his iconic Gwimbly gun and because he's such a cool dude who fights with attitude. Sorry, just looking at this guy gives me the rad nostalgia to boot up my PS1 and enjoy the jank of a PS1 platformer. So scary that many of the people watching this probably wasn't around for the PS1 era. Or PS2. Maybe not even the PS3. Help, I'm fading away. Gwimbly, the mascot Pokemon, a steel and fighting type. Once beloved by many, Gwimbly has fallen from the limelight and disappeared. Now you can find this powerful Pokemon hanging around back alleys and junkyards. It has a distinct cry and movement that the few Gwimbly fans have come to emulate quite well. To Gwimbly, they see it as a sign of deference. In the wild, Gwimbly can be wild and aggressive and prone to fits of anger, attacking anything around it with wild swings from their strong fists. Gwimbly that live in junkyards use that junk to their advantage by flinging it wildly at would-be trespassers. It can lift and throw heavy objects and so can be a dangerous threat. Gwimbly have the abilities Victory Star and Anger Point. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not giving Gwimbly a team. Okay, here, Gwimbly, Pikachu, Eevee, Clefairy, Charizard, and Mewtwo. I think that's pretty fitting. Alright, I think I got that out of my system. I really can't get too attached to a series lest I go off the deep end and make videos like this, making me go Anyway, what did you think of the video? Make sure to like and subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss these abominable videos again. Make sure to share it with other Smiling Friends and comment down below your thoughts and tell me what your favorite episode of Smiling Friends is so far. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you next time.
What is that?